Hey, what's up everyone? So 4 years ago, I changed the starter on my Ford F150 truck and I put a remanufactured one on from Napa, and 4 years later, it's starting to go bad again. So today I'm gonna show you guys how to change that, and I'm gonna do it in the luxury of my garage instead of being stranded somewhere like I was last time at work and changing it in the parking lot in the gravel. So this time I'm going to show you guys how to change it here, and we're also going to see if Napa honors the lifetime warranty of the remanufactured starters. So hopefully I could take it off there, take it back, they'll give me a free one, no problem, and I'll get it put on. So now what this is doing is when I turn the key to try to start it, it just makes a clicking noise, and then if I shut the key off, try to start it again, it usually fires up, usually on the second or third try. So it's getting a little worse, and like I said, I want to change it now before I get stranded somewhere and have to do it in the parking lot of a gas station or at work or something like that. I can remember the last time I changed it, the top bolt was really hard to get to. You had to have certain adapters, extensions, and swivels. You can't see the bolt, you can barely feel it. So I'll show you guys what adapters and stuff that I use here today to change it, and hope you find this video helpful or interesting, guys. If you do, make sure you click that like button and the subscribe so you can watch more videos like this. All right, so why I purchased the remanufactured starter to begin with 4 years ago was because it had the lifetime warranty and the new ones actually didn't. So that's something to think about when you guys buy a new starter. Let's go ahead and get into it. All right, so the first thing you want to do is you want to take your negative battery terminal off your battery, and that's going to prevent any arcing from down below if you accidentally touch your power wire to any other metal part like your frame or your oil pan. So you want to loosen this up. On this model, it's a 8mm on the battery. Pop that off of there. And that's a little bit corroded. Now's a good time to clean your battery terminals when you put it back together. So I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up and get it out of the way here so that it doesn't arc on anything. So now that the power wire is off, you can go ahead and get underneath and start taking the wires off the starter. Alright guys, so now that I got the truck jacked up a little bit so that I can get underneath it, you'll see on your starter there's a plastic cover right here covering your nuts of the wires going on your starter. You just pop that off and then you can access your nuts. Now you can see I got a little bit of corrosion around there. Now that could be part of the problem too, but it looks like this wire that's connecting the solenoid to the starter is also starting to deteriorate, probably from the salt in this area. So once you get that cover removed, you want to go ahead and take your main power wire off of your solenoid here, and that's going to be a 13mm, and then you want to take your start wire off the solenoid, which is going to be a 10mm here. And then the third wire you need to take off is your ground wire that goes to your starter right here. And that's going to be a 13mm nut. And that one's pretty tight. Seems like the whole stud and all wants to turn. Alright guys, so the problem I'm having here is I can't get this ground wire loose because the whole stud's turning. And you'll see what I mean here when I try to turn it. Now the whole stud is turning until the ground wire hits the starter, and I can't get this to break free. Now, my 13mm wrench is too wide to get in here to hold the other side of the nut. I did find this old 13mm, but it's still slightly too wide, so I'm going to go ahead and grind this down to get it to fit in there and hopefully be able to get that loosened up so I can get that out of there. Alright guys, so we're going to go ahead and try that and see if that fits. Alright, so I got it to fit on there. Hopefully I can get this to loosen up. Alright guys, so I was able to get the nut off of here by basically just working it back and forth with PB Blaster. And I ended up getting rid of the swivel and just using a short extension piece on here. Man, was that a pain in the butt. That bolt was freaking hard to get off of there. It was rusted and corroded on there. I didn't think it was going to come off, but luckily I got it off. So let's go ahead and try to get the 3 bolts out of the starter. Alright guys, so now the first bolt you want to take out. You want to leave the bottom one in because it's going to hold your starter till the end. But the next bolt is up here. It's a 13 millimeter, and you want to put extensions together. I have 2 short extensions together with the socket that puts the other side of the ratchet right on this side of the starter so that it gives you room to move the ratchet. If you try to put just the ratchet on there, you don't have enough room. So basically that's what you want to do with that bolt. And then the bolt above that, you can't really see it, almost can't even feel it. I'll try to show it to you guys here, but you want to do the same thing. You want to get it far enough away to where you can get some good leverage with that ratchet over here on this side. Alright, so there's the second bolt that I just took out, and here's the bolt on top of the starter you could see back there, and there's like that metal part of the engine or something around there, so it's really hard to get in there to that bolt. So you need exactly enough extension to get out from there, then you'll be able to loosen that bolt up. Alright guys, so I got the top bolt out, and basically I had to add another small 1.5 inch extension here, and I was able to get right in there, perfect length, and take that top bolt out. Now all you have to do is take the last bolt out, which is the bolt that your ground wire was on, and you'll need a 13 millimeter deep well for that. And once you remove that bolt, the starter should come right out. That's assuming it's not stuck to the bell housing, so hopefully it'll come right out. Alright, so as soon as I started taking this bolt out, the starter started coming loose, so that's a good sign it's not stuck to the bell housing. So once you get this last bolt out of here, make sure you hold your starter. This is very hard to do while recording. Trying to get a good angle. Get that last bolt out, and your starter should come right out of there, and you just work it down through the bottom here to get it out. Alright, there we go. Got the old one out, and gonna take it to Napa and see if they honor the lifetime warranty, see if they'll change it out for a new one. We'll get the new one put in. What I was saying before is looked like this wire here that was connecting the solenoid to the starter was starting to corrode. You see right there, so maybe that was part of my issue. But I don't know, for a lifetime replacement warranty, I'm just going to replace the whole thing and go from there. Hopefully I'm good for more than 4 years this time. But that salt really takes a toll on everything up here in the northeast. That's the only thing I hate about wintertime up here, is the salt and all the corrosion. Alright guys, so now this is the perfect time to clean up your ends on your wires with a wire brush and make sure you get them nice and shiny. Now you can see all the corrosion on this one here, and I'm going to see if Napa has this lugged, because as I was cleaning this one, it bent very easily and it's barely attached back here where it connects to the wire. So I'm hoping they have something that I can replace that with. This could be part of my problem as well, as far as it clicking when I'm trying to start. Maybe it's not getting a good enough connection, good enough power. So we're going to go ahead, and hopefully that's an easy fix. I'm hoping my wire is not too damaged and I don't have to replace the wire itself. That's what kind of corrosion you get up here in the northeast. Alright guys, so I just got back from Napa. They give me the new starter, no problem, no questions asked. I just showed them the receipt and they swapped that out. I got the new power lugs to attach the wire back to the starter, being that one was all corroded. I got 2 different sizes just in case, and also got some heat shrink tubing to go over that to seal that connection, so hopefully it won't rot out as quick. Another thing I got is some Freon and new adapters to fix my exhaust. What I didn't know is what they told me, and I learned today, is that they made a new style can on Freon. So the new style kind of doesn't puncture the can, but pushes a pin down that allows that to flow, and you can't use your old gauge for that style can like this one that punctures the can. You'll see here, this is an old can I had. You can see how it punctures the top. But what you can do is you can use your old gauge with this adapter. So this adapter screws onto the top to push that pin down, and then you can go ahead and use your old gauge to install the Freon, and then you're able to take this back off the can and it seals the can back up for future use if you don't use the whole thing. With the old style, once you puncture that can, you can't reuse it. So that was pretty nice to learn. I did not know that. I probably would have bought the wrong cans and realized that it didn't work with my gauge, and probably would have took me a while to figure out. So that's just a little piece of information I wanted to share with you guys, hopefully to save you the hassle in case you try to charge your system and have the same issue. Now, if you guys watched my exhaust replacement video about 2 years ago or so, My muffler actually fell off a few months ago because the adapter that I put on there rotted out. The rest of the exhaust held up well because I used the stainless steel version. I paid a little bit more money for the stainless steel one, but the connector that I had to buy was just regular metal, and it rotted off already within 2 years. Now, I bought the wrong fitting from Advance, so I bought the correct one from Napa today. And I gotta tell you, the one from Napa, you could see that the metal is a lot thicker on there. It's USA made, it's a lot thicker, and you could definitely tell the difference in weight. So hopefully this one will let it hold up a little bit more than 2 years like the one from Advanced Auto did. So that might save you guys a little bit longer between repairs, a little bit of information there. So let's go ahead, get this new lug put on, get this starter put on, and hopefully it all goes well. All right guys, so I got the old piece off the wire, and you can see here that it's barely connecting that on there to the wire. You can see how corroded that is. I got the wire stripped off up there, ready to go, and I got my new piece of heat shrink on this adapter. So I'm going to get it on there, crimp it on, and heat shrink that to that wire. Alright guys, so I'm going to go ahead and install the new starter before I crimp the end of that on to make sure it's lined up correctly. Now I'm just going to put a little bit of high temp anti-seize on the bolts to keep them from getting stuck inside there in case I ever have to take this off again. Alright, so I got the new end on the wire, got the new heat shrink tubing on. Gonna go ahead, this is my last connection here, gonna connect it back to there, and we're gonna see if she starts. Alright, so now I'm gonna clean the battery terminals up a little bit since they're getting a little bit corroded. Gonna reconnect those and should be good to go. Should start right up. I'm gonna go ahead and take this positive off too, because you can see the corrosion on there. Do that one as well. Spray it up with this battery terminal protector, and should be good. So I'll put a link down below to this and to everything else I used in this video if you guys are interested in checking that stuff out. Alright guys, so let's see if it starts. Perfect.